Hey folks, we're back, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with uThermal's series. So, he's meant to play somebody named Kiani. Oh, that's a lot of ones in chat, Zombie Grub. He's meant to play...
Should have followed up with a Catholic joke. God damn it.
Alright, looks like he's gonna play against uThermal. So, this is a series that's getting fresh, brand new. We'll play him... We'll cast Kiani versus uThermal because the winner plays against Mana. So, I'll leave you to handle that while I tell people this amazing joke, okay? If you guys know this joke in chat, don't be dicks, don't spoil it. But okay, so there's this train conductor who's really bad at his job. In fact, he's so bad at his job that eventually, while conducting trains, he manages to crash one of them. Now, it turns out, while there was a lot of people injured, unfortunately one person did die. So because of this, he gets tried for murder. And the backward state that he's in, for whatever reason, doesn't even give him a chance. He gets found guilty. So he's sent off to death row. Days and months pass by, and finally his execution date arrives. There's been no appeals and no way to get out, so down marches the executioner saying, what do you want for your last meal? And the guy says, I'd like one banana, please. So the executioner finds it simple enough. A bit weird, but whatever, gives him the banana. What are you eating, by the way? Is that popcorn? Man, you got ready for this joke. So he gives the guy the banana, eats the banana, goes next morning, marches off, sits down in the chair. There's nobody there. No loved ones, no audience, just nobody there to witness except the executioner. So asks the guy if he has any last words. He says no, throws the switch. Smoke, smells, lights, everything. Death by electric chair.
When can I go?
You can wait a sec. Death by electric. You know what? We can go. I'll just keep telling this joke into the game. So, death by electric chair, but the guy survives somehow. Nobody knows how, but he survives somehow. And due to the loophole in the law, they have to legally let him go. So, this guy changes his name, applies for another job as a train conductor, still terrible at his job, manages to, at this new job, mess up once again. Now, it's not right away. A couple months have passed at this point, and people just kind of forgot about him. Well, they remembered him on this second accident, because this killed a whole cart worth of people. A lot of people died in this train accident. Feels bad, man. We'll interrupt this joke for a moment to introduce the players. In the top right, it's Kiani.
Couldn't have waited. The bottom left, it's the blue tear and uThermal.
Anyways, so as this cartload of people die, he gets found for murder. And it's discovered through the court case that he changed his name. It's the same guy from before, so without any hesitation, they send him off to death row. In fact, he doesn't even have to wait this time. He's going to get murdered like within the same week. Or not murdered, he's going to get executed within like the same week. So, executioner marches down. Sees the same guy, finds it a bit weird. He's never had to execute anyone twice before, but comes down and says last meal. Guy says, I'll have 2 bananas, please. So the executioner still finds it a bit weird, gives him 2 bananas. The guy eats them. Next morning, same deal. This time around, there's some people who actually showed up to see because they had heard that he had survived the first execution. So there they are sitting in the witness room waiting to watch. Light switch goes thrown down. Light, smoke, smells, everything. But the guy remains unscathed. And there's murmurs between everyone out there. So they have to let him go again. Same deal. Now, if you guys can believe it, I know, right? He finds a job once again as a train conductor. Can you believe it? And the same thing, you wouldn't believe, happens again. This time, though, the whole train blows up. It's not even fair how much gross death this guy has caused. So immediately thrown to the electric chair. No chance, no trial, just straight to death. This time the executioner marches down, sees this guy, and it's like just ready to be like, nope. So the guy says, for my last meal, I'd like 3 bananas. Executioner says, no, you're not getting any bananas. Pick anything else. So the guy says, I'll have 1 apple, please. So the executioner gives him the apple. Next morning, same deal. You guessed it, guys. He survives the execution. The executioner goes, he's had it. I don't understand. I didn't give you any bananas. Why didn't you die? He's like, oh, there's nothing to do with bananas. I'm just a bad conductor.
Ha!
You guys have no idea how many times Zombie Grub has had to sit through me telling this joke, so I get super enjoyment out of telling it every single time I get the chance. The last time was while we were in Korea, and she's just like, nope, guys, don't even listen, just cover your ears. This is a stupid joke, move on.
I tried to warn you guys.
Yeah, well, those fools, they pressed 1 in chat for the greatest joke of all time. I think that took about 5 minutes to tell. Not bad.
I think so, yeah. About 3 minutes in the
But
game.
this goes right back to the interrogation room. If you had to sit through that and 5 more of those jokes, would you guys also give up the information if you were the bad guy?
No. Just sit there and just like space out.
No, make it stop, please. Okay, well, as we get into the actual cast of the game, Kiany's a player we don't know a lot of. His name's in like Russian or something. I don't know these letters, but this is coming up against uThermal, who is right now like one of the best Terran players in Europe. You can say what you like about Marine Lord and others, but frankly, those guys are busy playing Overwatch and not winning StarCraft 2 tournaments here and there. So I've got a lot of respect for uThermal right now. It's kind of cool to see Bunny in the brackets too, but really, these are the only 2 Terrans I can think of. There really aren't a lot of others out there. So while Kiany may or may not die here, I am more interested to see how he does against uThermal, because I would like to see some potential to have that new Terran badass.
Yeah, we've been missing since what's his name? Botvinnik. There we go.
Botvinnik also, yeah, that was so sad when he like already like retired or whatever, I guess. He was a player I saw a lot of potential in. It's a bit sad.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of, I guess, well, not new Terrans or anything, but just like upsets in the brackets, something that's actually kind of interesting and cool, despite having a lot of really good players. Revolution managed to beat Super, which, I mean, Super is like, he's on and off, but he got 2 1s, so that's pretty cool. Maybe we'll see Revolution later down the line.
Well, the fact that it's Revolution is what's making me go, whoa, a little bit harder. I actually really respect. Good job, man. Good job,
Yeah.
Revolution. All right, so right now we got a lot of Cyclones being made. Well, not a lot, I guess like a couple Cyclones, but the Viking too, and I'm starting to wonder like if this will lean towards mech or not. It's maybe cause and effect from the opening. But other side of the map, it's not without some repercussions. The Banshee it's picked up a couple of SCVs. Viking got made. Turret catches it though, and that's the end of the aggression from Kiany.
Well, not too great at the last second, but oh well. So, 2 Ravens, or Raven apiece rather. 2 Cyclones defending here. A couple of grenades could be crucial. Of course, Reaper already dies. I mean, he's going to be able to defend, I think, with a Cyclone. Oh, well, maybe not. The Widowmine isn't actually going off here. He's not running back into it, so he loses a lot of his units, where I think that Widowmine could have helped at least a little bit.
Yeah, maybe should have tried to
Technically
advance
breaks.
it. I don't know, but picking off the medevac guaranteed that no matter how uThermal came out of this, whether it was ahead or behind, he wouldn't have been able to advance further without the medevac. So, yeah, I like the priority of keeping the Viking in the air. I think he could have won the ground battle a lot easier if it was on the ground, of course, but it's another story for another day. Vikings, of course, they get quite a buff. Shooting, not Marines for that much, but the Hellions would have taken 20 damage a shot.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the recent change, even though we just watched PvP, where technically there's a couple scenarios where maybe the Immortal Barrier being microed could have helped, because that was one of the changes. They also reduced the time at which the barrier goes off of cooldown, so kind of a buff more so than anything else. But they also reverted the Hydra range, but combined the range with speed. There's actually a ton of things that happened. I don't think any of them really affect TvT though. No, I don't think so. What was changed with the Terran?
You mean in the mini patch, right? The one that just came out?
Yeah.
I don't think much, if anything. It's focused on the Hydra dynamic more than everything else.
Yeah, it was like Tempest, Hydra, Viper,
I think that was it.
Immortal.
I actually think this might have been the first time Terran didn't get screwed in some sort of weird patch.
Maybe. Well, okay. Maybe Chow let us know. So Banshee coming in now for uThermal is going to add a couple more SCV kills on his plate. He's already up 10 army supply, and he's got production on the way.
If he drops that auto turret, he would have killed that Banshee. No doubt about it, but Kiany is gonna not take too much from this couple of SCVs dead. For uThermal and Kiany, by the way, people are saying that Kiany's name is literally Keanu Reeves in Russian. That's kind of funny if it is. The income graph has been very, very, very heavily favoring uThermal, and a lot of that's reflected just on the command center coming down later, even though they're on somewhat even worker count. That extra round of mules that uThermal's had, the fact that he's actually got the extra money now to move towards that third. This is all gains that'll pay off a lot more later on. Not to mention this Banshee comes in looking for a couple more SCV pickoffs.
Yeah. It's pretty rare to see a second Banshee. Not even like nowadays. Like, it's been rare to see a second Banshee for a very long time. It just you know, you want to get to that Viking, we get to that Raven, but especially more so with the recent big patch, as both of those units got buffs.
Also, Valkyrie, I am happy with myself. Thanks for that cheer. Not just happy, but proud, if you can believe it. But you're right about the Banshee thing. I think for a long time, Banshees were such a heavy emphasis on the matchup that we just got used to seeing them all the time, always, and no one expects to follow a Banshee and all those sort of memes. But really, it has been like the one Banshee, and I'd say even more recently, cloakless Banshees have been coming into fashion just because they're there for a bit of pressure, followed by maybe they're used to pushback tanks, but. Yeah, this free uThermal didn't get a lot done. Paired up with the Raven and the Viking now, it's certainly going to get some kills in the natural. If Kianu here is looking at the front, I'm going to call him Kianu, it's easier than saying Kiani, because uThermal's coming with quite the force. That's a lot of tanks, it's a lot of Marines.
Yeah.
And I think the big part too is those upgrades for uThermal are a little bit better. Combat Shields is already done. Stim actually just finished as we spoke, so now he's fully good to go. Whereas Kiani still doesn't have Stim or Combat Shields or +1 finished up.
Yeah. It seems like uThermal might just, you know, okay, well, he's boosting in now, but my point was that maybe Kiani will have Stim, but he's entirely out of position for this huge drop going into the main base. He'll have +1. He actually has a missile turret line. This is pretty early, something that uThermal probably wasn't expecting, but he still gets through.
The Widowmine took quite a couple of these units out. Tanks go down pretty much immediately, and whatever's happening in the front line for uThermal is almost irrelevant because he's got complete dominance here in the main. Tanks are set up so nicely. He'll catch anything funneling in through that ramp. All he's got to do is focus fire. Auto turrets looking to be predicted down. Throws a couple. Those will kill one of the tanks. Auto turrets are so good with their damage now, but unfortunately still, uThermal's dished out so much damage. 25 SCVs died through this, and this just puts Kiani in an unwinnable position.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, he's definitely going to lose here, and that might just be the winning army push.
Chat helping us out, by the way, with the changes. I forgot. They did change something about Terran for this patch. The Cyclones had their range upgrade removed, but instead automatically given to them.
Yep.
Blizzard trying to make them a little more viable.
Yeah. That didn't really show anything in that game. You know, the two Cyclones helping defend that one push. I don't think them having a longer range would have helped. Maybe that could be argued, but I think he was in a
I'm debating that actually because
position.
If they were, I'm thinking more like if they were on the shorter range that they had before the patch, they would have had no chance to take that fight because of the way they were getting stuck between each other on the ramp. Whereas the range, I think, may have just been enough. I don't know. It's an interesting question. It'll be next map out of Kiani. It's his map choice, by the way. And looking at the bracket right now, guys, here's what I think our plans are going to be, assuming all goes well. The winner of this series plays against Mana in a best-of-3. Then we'll probably hop down one bracket spot and have either Revolution or TLO play against Bunny in the round of 8s. Then both semifinals, then the grand finals. Looks to be about the charter we're doing here. Also, Ghosty User did win his first best-of-3. He's playing against Kerr right now. There's another player we had questioned about, like, yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. What's he been up to?
Kerr is not quite Grr. So therefore inferior?
Invader Zim?
Wait, what was Invader Zim? Was that Grr?
That was Grr, yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about
Okay.
just now.
No, the Brood War player. Grr.
No.
Yeah. But also,
I know
yeah,
not
sure,
your filthy Brood War memes.
Invader Zim was like, in my opinion, you know, it probably wasn't, but in my eyes, was like that first stupid, crazy, I'm so random.
That was
show.
Grr. That was Grr in a nutshell. Like the
Yeah,
character.
exactly. And like the people that were so obnoxious, like mimicked him so often, and then they had to learn to calm the fuck down. Good times.
Well, good thing I didn't jump right into doing a Grr impression then, as you were saying.
Yeah, damn straight you didn't. Good God.
What's this new? What's that new?
No, actually, Invader Zim, like, it did spawn a whole generation of, like, obnoxious nerds for, like, a year or two.
Actually,
it was overall a pretty good show.
It's crazy for me to hear this coming from you, because you're like the SpongeBob fanatic, and in my eyes, I actually have the same point of view you've just given to Invader Zim, but with SpongeBob in my case.
because like Invader Zim for me was always like you had to be pretty cool to enjoy that show because it was so weird. SpongeBob was something that like everyone
cool.
watched in the morning.
I don't
No,
think
I'm serious.
degrees of being cool determines whether you can enjoy a show or not. I think you can be a big stupid loser and still enjoy a show.
No,
Zombie Girl.
my point is like with SpongeBob, you could ask anyone, they probably saw something when they woke up, but to be into Invader Zim, you had to be into it, which is also like a lot of people that were into Invader Zim also got into anime and became very similar annoying habits.
I think you grew up a little bit pretentious there, Zombie Girl. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know.
I'm a former weeaboo. I can say what I want. Pretentious has nothing to do with it.
Former.
Yeah, now I'm a Koreaboo now, good sir.
I think that's like not a mutually exclusive thing. I think you can still be obsessed with yanderes from Future Diary while still enjoying
I'm definitely
the
not a
Korean culture.
weeaboo, though. No, like just because you're obsessed with one thing does not make you a weeaboo. That weeaboo is a whole thing, man. Like I'm not.
Okay, let me pose this question to you. If you're obsessed with Hitler, does that make you a Nazi?
That doesn't make any sense. And also, how is that relatable?
I'm just saying, like you can be being obsessed with something does, to a degree,
well,
make
if you're
you something.
obsessed. Well, if you're obsessed with history.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the top left side of the
two.
map, we've got the green chair player. By the way, it is Kiani, aka the Russian Keanu Reeves.
You're a history fanatic. In the top right, as the red Terran, he is liquid uThermal.
And now there's nothing to talk about because we've ruined it with our pre-game conversation.
Well, you're the one who shouldn't be in it.
Well, I just felt like maybe 5-minute introductions might be a little bit rude, so we should get them done before we got too off topic.
Oh my god. It's just like not even important though. Like they recognize who's who. They know colors. They know names.
Really? What's that name there though for the green player then?
KianyPivz.
That sounds like a Jedi's name. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi would be Kinani Wanabi Kababe. What's wrong with you?
You were trying to pronounce that name. What would you say?
I'd say it's Keanu Reeves in Russian is what I would say. Because you know why? The announcers introduced it as such.
No, you gotta pronounce the name, man.
I did. I actually have no idea how to read that. I what is it called? It starts with like a C or something, right? Like the Russian lettering.
It starts with a K.
Googling what are Russian letters called? Yeah, it's Cyrillic or something. I knew it was a C. Yeah.
Okay. What's happening in this game?
uThermal.
Going for one base. Anastasia.
Anastasia. The best Disney movie of all time, am I right? That and Swan Princess. Those are my two favorite Disney movies.
What was the other movie that company no one knew did? Oh, Titan A. There you go.
Oh, Titan was that? I actually really like that one. I didn't realize it was the same people.
I'm pretty sure, because there's like only 2 animation companies.
So this is kind of clever out of Kiani, by the way. He knows where the Widowmine is. Can't do anything, lack of detection, so he's trying to grenade it down. But the Banshee's like, hello, cut that out, please. He tried so hard, and he got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter.
Oh, God.
Well, uThermal uThermal's gonna try and get in here, but Kiani already covered his production on top of his SCVs. I actually like this a lot, because sometimes that Banshee will just go pick off tech labs or reactors instead. So it's a little bit more costly, 3 turrets this early, but he locks down his defenses against the Banshees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good investment of the missile turrets. Last game, you know, despite uThermal choosing to go for a Doom Drop, the missile turrets were not a good investment, so this one's looking a little bit better, but this push from uThermal still has a nice army supply lead. Positionally, it's going to be able to just bother our Green Terran player here.
KianyPivz. I just keep hearing Obi-Wan Kenobi every time you say that.
Quite a bit. So I mean, I don't think that uThermal can actually push in and win with this, but he might be able to distract and get a couple of SCVs. Ravens do a lot of damage with auto turret. The Banshee go back in and maybe get a couple more SCVs there too, which is exactly what's happening. And uThermal will get a lead off of this.
We got 2 people subbing to us during the most ridiculous talk of all time. Don't support this, guys. Don't laugh at our bad jokes. Thank you so much for the support, nonetheless, to both Untouched Matrix and Samich7. 2 subs, hype.
Someone actually subscribed to an anime hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, uThermal's attack in the front gets a little bit squashed, by the way. He got a little bit greedy by pushing up that ramp without the high ground vision, so scans a little bit late, loses the Marines Fort to the tank fire. He still holds a nice position outside of Kiany's base, but those 10 SCVs dead are still going to sting. Auto turret harass and everything else just around the side with that Banshee.
Yeah. I do wonder why the 2 Cyclones seem like such a solid opener. They used to be, and in the very early game, I guess they're still very useful against like minor amounts of Hellions and Reapers, but as we saw, like even though uThermal kind of gave him a position, he didn't really get to utilize it, the Cyclones still went down. I don't know. It might not be the build order. It might just be, of course, uThermal's pretty good.
Yeah, he takes out that tank too, really nasty. The Viking, if it had lived, would have destroyed the tanks. But so little remains, it's just enough. GG, good luck, it's called. uThermal's going to take the series 2-0. It's going to move on to play against Mana. Now for us, again, a small commercial break of 2 minutes while we try and set up our next series of matches. Do stick with us, guys. We'll see you soon.